Hello, Caroline.
Hey Denise, there's something different about you, but I can't figure out what it is.
Oh no,
Did you lose weight?
I lost. Well, actually, I gained weight because I've been enjoying eat jelly beans, which
Jelly
I
beans?
found at Tiger. They're like the
No.
best jelly beans in the world, and they only
Really?
cost €2. And somebody brought some great chocolate eggs here, so I'm
Nice.
I'm I'm enjoying the Lindor ones especially.
Which
And then
ones?
I've
The
got
black
real
ones or the red ones?
eggs. See.
Oh, I've got
This
one of
is
those too.
purple. Well, the real ones. These are real
Okay.
eggs. No, I like the red Lindors.
See, I
There's
like
the
the
red.
black ones because they're like dark chocolate, but
Oh,
the red ones are like too buttery for me. They're rich.
really?
Yeah, Ava likes
Hmm.
them, but I get the black ones.
Well, happy April 5th, the day after Easter.
Yeah, someone asked me like Pascueta. How do you say Pascueta in English? I'm like Monday. Like,
Monday,
do
right?
we
Because we've
celebrate it?
got Good Friday. Let me remove these ridiculous ears.
I think they're kind of cute.
Video filter, and I'll get rid of the ears. None. There we go. Okay. That's
Oh,
more serious, right?
oh yeah, we're
Okay.
serious today,
Yeah,
right?
in the States, you got Good Friday, at least for schools, you're off, but I never heard of this Pascueta Easter Monday.
Yeah, I'll take it
It's
though, no problem.
Lunedì del Angelos,
Hmm.
whatever. So how was
Whatever.
your day yesterday?
It was pretty good. We just, spent it with some family members because you were allowed to leave. So we went and had lunch with Christian's father's cousin. So older people who are, normally alone, and we had a nice time. We came back and
Good.
we, had a couple neighbors. We saw a couple neighbors. I guess we weren't supposed to, but we did. And but it was pretty low key. What about you?
Yeah. Low key, it was us and Andrea's aunts, which last year we were all separate now.
Mhm.
And this year, and I made food for them and I sent it to their house. So this year we could be together. So that was nice. They were like happy to get out of their house.
You did some serious
So that
cooking. I
was
saw the pictures. How did that go?
Yeah. I made it was like Asparagus Festival here. And I decided to really get into things and make this what was it called? Pastiera Napoletana,
What's in that?
which is a lot of work. I've always seen this stuff. It's grain, actually. You can get it in a jar. If you do it like old school, you have to soak it for a day or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a ton of sugar and butter and orange flavoring and vanilla in a packet. And it's a lot of work because you have to make the crust and ricotta. Ricotta.
Mm.
It's like a cheesecake kind of.
Sounds good.
But I didn't realize when I got this jar of stuff at my local supermarket where they had all the other ingredients that you needed, that it made two of them. So you've got like 1,000,000 calories of pastiera napoletana here.
All right, so you're going to
And
be eating
I've
it for the
got
next
an
week.
extra, I got an extra cake, so I'm gonna have to divvy that thing up. So that was what we did. Asparagus, ham, and then this special cake.
Nice. Okay, so that
Yeah.
sounds pretty good. What's your
And
plan
today
for
we got
today?
leftovers. I
Leftovers.
made crepes, basil crepes and asparagus crepes with filling.
Was it the wild asparagus, or because I've got some wild asparagus, like Tristini, like go into the woods and they can
Oh,
spot
lucky
like
you, because you live in the
yeah,
woods.
I live in
So
the woods, so my friends bring
did
me
you find
because I don't
any?
have the eye. I can't see it. Ava can see it,
No.
but I think you have to grow up here to
Ha.
like recognize what the plant is next to it, and then they can see this little stalk of
Well, did you
asparagus.
have enough? Did you get any? Enough to make an omelet or
Yeah, we had an omelet yesterday, and then another friend brought some today. Brought some for that we can use today. So I'm gonna
good.
throw it on the grill,
Yeah.
see what happens.
Lucky
Grilled
you.
asparagus, yeah. So that's my
So
plan. But otherwise, I'm just enjoying like not working. Like Friday, I didn't do anything. I just sort of read some books, or I'm reading like 3 or 4 at a time, and so I've never finished any of them. But it was just nice to kind of sit around, write in my journal, and today I
I
have to start
finished my
planning my
book
week.
club book last night.
What are you guys
It was
reading?
nice to have fewer people here because it didn't take me so long to clean up as usual.
Yeah. What are you reading?
Sometimes at Easter we have 20 people, 25. So I got cleaned up really fast. And I finished up my book that we're reading for book club, which was super interesting. It's called 9 Lives. And it's by Dan Baum, who was a writer for the New Yorker.
Oh, cool.
And it's about post-Katrina in New Orleans. And the person who selected this book actually lived in New Orleans for many years. And I don't know if she was there in 2005 during Katrina, but it follows people before Katrina and the history of their family, and then Katrina, and then the part that goes so fast is post-Katrina. So
Wow.
9 different people from, like, there's the coroner, there's a wealthy guy from the Garden District of New Orleans, there's the Tootie is his name. He was the head of the Indian group that did the big carnival festival. They were opposing groups. So he was the Indian head, and he would make these really elaborate costumes. Then there was the band director. Then there were a bunch of kids who were in the band, and what happened to them, like the days after Katrina, and then how they came back. So it's really interesting. It's nonfiction.
Have you ever been to New Orleans? I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
I've been to New Orleans. I went once with my family when I was a kid, and that was interesting. I remember we went down Bourbon Street. must have been like 10 or something. And there were these women on swings flying across Bourbon Street, half dressed. And my sister and I are like, oh, what's going on here from Ohio? We didn't have that stuff up in Cincinnati.
People don't
And
swing in
then
the streets in Cincinnati.
I went back when Nikolai was about 5 with Andrea. We went to New Orleans, and Andrea said, well, let's just go in one of these bars and listen to music. And we went in and we had Nikolai in a stroller, and like, no kids in the bars. Like, all right, I forgot. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, you kind of get used to the European thing.
We listened to music from outside the bars. I forgot. And we ended up, we didn't go to one of the fancy motels. We were in that kind of weird area of New Orleans. And I wonder what happened to that place where we stayed. Who knows? Who knows? But the book is so interesting because I was thinking about what I was seeing here when that happened. It was the end of August in 2005, beginning of September, and they told everybody to leave, and people didn't leave because they thought, well, it'll be like the last time. The water will come in and the water will go out. And the water came in, but it never went out. And then it started getting higher and higher. And they were stuck, really stuck. It was really bad.
And then I remember when it was over, all the famous people were going and buying up houses to show their solidarity. So like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie bought a house there when they were still together. So I remember that. But yeah,
and then it follows some of the people who got out like 10 days later, and they ended up flying them out to different cities that would host them, and how they just wanted to get back. And then they got back and there was nothing left of their homes. And so it's a really interesting book. And then following these kids who were in the band, the jazz bands, with their high schools, that basically saved a lot of kids, their jazz band, because that's the only reason they would go to school, their marching bands. They went
because for their own, like music there is like its own.
Yeah, and if your grades weren't good enough, you couldn't be in the band. And some of these kids became super famous. Well, okay, Winston Marsalis, he's not in the story, but he went to one of these schools and was in the marching band. And
his dad was also a famous musician too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
It's really interesting.
Well, it reminds me of it yesterday at lunch, and we were having lunch, and the sort of auntie was talking, and she's 94, I think, and she said to Ava, she said, back when I was a kid, we weren't spoiled like you guys. And she started talking about when they had the bombings, and basically war stuff, and at the table, since we had, oh gosh, at least 2 people were in their late 80s, early 90s, they were like kind of having the competition about where they used to go every night when the bombing would start, like where they would enter their tunnel and, where their bomb shelters were. And I have to say, it was really interesting to hear them, because they were like children then. And so, oh yeah, you'd have this little chair, you'd run with your little chair and go in there, and they had little backpacks that were already packed with something to do in them, because you'd be in there for hours. Like, well, could you read? Well, there wasn't really much light. And so it was just sort of interesting.
I've heard stories like that too, that they would take their fur coat down even in the summertime. So at least they would have something to keep them warmer to sit on. An old fur coat, like I've got old fur coats sitting around, just take that to the bomb shelter.
Yeah,
but
really.
think of kids now. What stories will kids today tell to their children? Like, yeah, remember we were locked in the house for a year and we couldn't go to school, and I had to go and walk the dog and take out the garbage in order to get out of the house.
Yeah, really. So now the kids are going back to school, right? This week, I know Ava's going back to school. It's elementary and first year middle school and kindergarten, PK people, and so small children and elementary. But we'll see how that goes. She kind of likes being home, I think, because they have less hours.
Okay.
But a lot of kids are happy to be around their friends again.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy to have my space back, but yeah. Are you,
What else are you doing? Are you getting ready for the big TESOL class starting on Wednesday?
Does that start next Wednesday?
No, it starts Wednesday, actually, the 7th.
Wednesday.
Janine, a 1 hour meeting.
Okay, yeah, she told me about it. I guess she's organizing it. I hope.
And then on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturdays we have our lessons are already planned. So this is the course we're doing for teachers. It's basically theme based. So a lot like our classes are anyway, project based, just to give English teachers a chance to speak with other adults and talk about American culture. So that's what we're doing. And it's going to be on Saturday mornings. And time flies. It seemed like it was going to be starting in a long time from now, but now it looks like everything's starting up this week. So I got to start planning my life again.
Teachers can still sign up, even if you miss the first lesson. It's not a problem.
Yeah, it's a million hours.
And then regular classes, right? It's 3 hours on Saturdays, and regular classes start at the association now on Tuesdays, on Wednesday the 7th as well.
Okay, Wednesday's the 7th. What day is today? Oh yeah, you're right.
5th. It doesn't seem like Monday, but anyway.
Not at all. It's super weird. So yeah, we're starting on Wednesday. That means I got to send out our lessons today. I'm still trying to decide. I've got 2 lessons ready, but I'm deciding which one to send out. So I'm not going to reveal it yet in case you know what they are, but I'm not going to. We'll talk about next.
Well, maybe one I know.
Yeah, the one, it was your idea.
Okay.
I think that's the one I'm going to send out.
Surprise.
But I need to get.
And let's see, what else is it? What else is going on? It's Earth Day on the 22nd of April. Did you know that Earth Day was started by a senator from Wisconsin?
No, really?
I saw his name the other day, but I can't remember. 1970, a senator from Wisconsin.
There you go. I knew it was in the 70s, but I didn't know it would start in Wisconsin, but I like that.
Last year, apparently they had a bunch of anniversary things planned and you couldn't do anything.
Right.
So maybe in the States, they'll be doing more for Earth Day. And from Earth Day, they started the EPA and all that stuff in the States, and the whole Earth Day movement.
Yeah, and then it went out of fashion for a while. Then it came back again. I remember it being a big deal, like in the 80s when I was in school, 80s, 90s. And then, I don't know, then things got really serious. It's funny because people have been talking about these things for so long, but why are we just now starting to get it together,
Right.
I mean.
And then other stuff going on. On the Facebook page of the American Corner, I'm featuring national parks because it's also in April, there's also National Park Week. And I didn't know there were so many parks. So they have different tier level parks. Oh, yeah. And there's 63 parks that have actually national park in their name. That, like the most famous parks like Yellowstone and Grand Teton and the big parks, Badlands. But there are like 420 actual parks in the National Park Service in the United States.
Really?
Millions of miles of parks. And those are just national parks. And you've got all the state parks and everything.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I started in alphabetical order of these top parks. And the first one is Acadia in Maine.
Oh, never been there.
Me neither. I probably went there when I was a kid. Bar Harbor, Maine.
Okay. I've never even been to Maine, actually, now that I think about it. And I lived in Massachusetts for a while, which, isn't that far, but never made it to Maine before.
Okay.
But what's your favorite national park?
Well, the one that I visited most often, two actually, when I was a kid, our family used to go often to the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, nice.
In Tennessee. You could drive there in a day. So we went there pretty often.
Tennessee is a cool state.
Enormous park. Lots of bears, woods. They even have the country homesteads there from the settlers and stuff.
Did you ever go to Gatlinburg in Tennessee?
Yes.
Coolest city ever. Oh my God, I love Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, taffy and candy and candles.
Yeah, it's like this
weird
place. Yeah, it's like a surreal. I remember going there as a kid and like, that was on the way to Florida, you'd have to drive through and go
you have
down
to stop someplace. Let's stop in
Gatlinburg. It's the coolest.
And there was, I remember places that we always wanted to go. Like we would visit the park. We would, I think we stayed in the park often, but we always wanted to go to town and we would beg our parents to take us to Ripley's Believe It or Not Museum.
Yeah.
And they would never take us there. Never.
Yeah, I never got to go either, but it's like, oh my God. Do you remember who was the host of that? It was like Jack Palance.
I don't know, but we always wanted to go. Like the tallest man and the bearded woman and all that stuff. It was all like wax museum stuff, but
I know, but the kind of stuff
we had all the books and stuff about Ripley's Believe It or Not. And then Dollywood.
I've never been to Dollywood. It's my dream. I love Dolly Parton.
My husband and I went to Dollywood. We didn't go to the park. We went to the show, the Dollywood Stampede.
Nice. How was that?
Yeah, it was interesting. They had like horses and stuff and a show. I think you had dinner. Maybe you had fried chicken and barbecued ribs. And then they put on a show, like a circus kind of show during your meal. Dolly was not there.
Well, Dolly has a great documentary right now on Netflix that I watched. She is so cool. And she's on Opryland. Have you ever been to Opryland? That's another interesting place. No. Yeah, these are really cool places. I have, yeah. I went to a teachers conference there one time. And
really?
In the,
that must have been wild.
It was crazy. It was really, I was like 25 or something with a bunch of other
Teachers Gone Wild.
Teachers Gone Wild is a blast, yeah. But a really cool place. There are lots of places I think in the South I'd like to go back and visit now as an adult,
What about you? What's your favorite park?
Well, I lived in, I think I like different monuments. So like I like this, St. Louis Arch, which is a national park. Yellowstone, I've got memories of like camping there when I was a kid, and I lived in South Dakota for a while with my family. So we did a lot of camping out west. So but I think my favorite experience in national park was the Grand Canyon. I hiked the canyon, man. Awesome.
Grand Canyon.
Hot. You got to start like at 4 a.m.
Yeah, it depends when you go.
Yeah, we went at 4 a.m, and on the Brady Bunch on TV, they did it going down on donkeys, but we weren't allowed to go on donkeys. We had to actually hike it and walk down, and it was a pretty tough walk. But it was when you go down in and you come back up, you feel like you've done something important. So it's something that stays with you.
And have you been to Mesa Verde?
I have. That's another.
That's cool.
Yeah, really beautiful. Cool. Yeah, lots of places there in Canyonland and all that,
Yeah.
Lots of cool places to go to. So yeah, you're making me want to travel again.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, if you can't travel, you can at least look at these places.
Yeah, because those look at that, and then also you were telling me that all these museums are also digitized now too, right?
And a lot of the parks have online events. Well, you could have always followed the bears in Alaska,
which we did.
Remember,
we had it playing in the
bears. I haven't looked at them lately at Katmai, it's called. I haven't seen, they're probably getting up now. They're probably moving back down. They're pretty thin by now.
Yeah.
They've got to go down and get the salmon down. So
those are good times. We
yeah,
had that thing
let's
in
plan
the
a trip,
entrance of the
Karoline.
association. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. A big, you can drive.
They were really hungry. And then they have a competition online every year about you vote on the fattest bear,
Right.
because they are eating like, I don't know how many salmon a day. They're just grabbing them and throwing them in their mouths, and they have to put on all this fat for the hibernation. And then there's a competition. It's not a weigh-in, but the pictures of all the different bears and
Who's
the
the
fights
fattest?
with the bears. And yeah, they get mad when somebody steals their salmon.
Right. And then for a while we were playing it on loop because we liked it when there were so many salmon. It was like,
It was kind of boring sometimes because you could watch it live, but when it was live, it might have been night and we couldn't see anything. So
right.
I don't know if they're still up there at night looking for salmon, but
eating like half a salmon and throwing because there's so much salmon. And there's a point where they're like licking it off the bones because there's what's more fun than watching bears? I don't know. I can't think of anything else, but
yeah, on a camera from far away.
So fun. Where were they? In Alaska?
They were in Alaska, Katmai, on the waterfall.
The best.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much, does it, Denise? We're pretty easy to please.
Yeah, this is true.
So yesterday, with our writing group was, we're always sending little WhatsApps, and we were having nostalgia for Jesus Christ Superstar, the musical, and decided that we're going to have to organize a sing-along at some point. Easter comes, and that's the musical that comes to mind. But actually, remember when we did the sing-along with Giovanni? We're going to have to organize that again.
Yes, we will.
We must love a sing-along.
I haven't seen Jesus Christ Superstar on TV. They usually don't put it on the Rye. I guess it's a little.
It was on for free.
Risque.
They were streaming it on Andrew Lloyd Webber's on his YouTube channel, because during the pandemic, he would choose one of his musicals and stream it for free for like 4 days. And so during last year, I watched it because it must have been around Easter time, which makes sense, because it was on his channel. So I don't know if and then he takes them off, but but the soundtrack is always fun to listen to because it actually tells.
I had the record when I was a kid.
I had the record too.
And we've got Jesus, the guy, I can't remember his name, the actor, the original stage actor. We have his autograph someplace because remember, Joe went to Jesus Christ Superstar, and even if the actor was in his 70s,
he's still the original guy.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Incredible. Well,
okay. All right, Denise, I hope you have a good day.
Enjoy the day. Take the dog for a nice walk.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Will do. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.